This Sekiro stream was actually painful, dog. Hey, man. We're progressing. 10 crazy things about Elden Ring players have done. Let's see.
So Elden Ring's been around a little while, and that's given some people some time to establish themselves as accomplishers of insane feats. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Rank's 10 crazy things that
He
Elden
said
Ring...
accomplishers of insane feats. After playing Sekiro, this game ain't... This game is way nicer to you compared to Sekiro. Sekiro grabs you by the nutsack like this, and it holds it. It holds it. And even when you defeat a boss, it lets go just a little bit, but it's still holding hard to those balls.
Players have done. Starting off at number 10, this fan-imagined DLC. This is pretty amazing. Artist Eugenia Liza took one really obscure piece of lore and managed to spin it into an entire proposal for a DLC. For most people, that amounts to theory crafting, but she went way beyond that, creating arts, environments, NPCs, did this stuff in Unreal Engine 5 to illustrate the ideas. The whole thing's based off the chanting winged dame enemies, who sing a song in Latin that fans have actually taken the time to translate into English. The song's about as vague as you'd expect, but the creator here uses it as a starting point to propose it's a potential DLC where you explore the past, interact with a new NPC, fight new monsters. These are all new designs that are really well rendered. The artwork alone is impressive. The whole thing's a total flight of fancy, but with so many lingering mysteries left to explore in Elden Ring, fans kind of want to imagine what the DLC could possibly be. The whole video is basically Elden Ring fan fiction, but it's just really impressive.
It looks good though!
At this point. Moving on,
it looks really good.
Remakes. The growing trend of remakes, or remaking games as if they were on older consoles with less powerful hardware, it's still going pretty strong, and we've got two really impressive ones to show you here. The first is the SNES remake by 64-bit that shows multiple bosses rendered into like a 32-bit style. Looks a lot like the Quintet trilogy of games. Definitely a positive in my book. Another really cool one is a PS1 remake created by Floppy, which interprets various scenes from the trailers as in-game PS1 graphics, similar to like
That's
Vagrant
so
Story,
cool!
but obviously at a scale that PS1 games couldn't even begin to imagine. Like, these aren't actual games like the Bloodborne PS1 remake that came out earlier this year. They're just YouTube videos meant as a sort of proof of concept, but still really impressive. Good works of art. At number 8, beating Margit using a harp as a controller. Now, people beating games using unconventional controllers is kind of a big thing now. Elden Ring's obviously no stranger to it at this point, with people beating it using stuff like Rock Band controllers that like baby toys, and people have actually beaten it with bananas. I think we've covered other Dark Souls games being beaten by a potato, if I remember right. Somehow, Anna Ellsworth, a harpist, a person who plays a harp, managed to beat the first major boss of the game using a harp as a controller, with a level 1 character. Really just a task.
With a level 1 character?
As you're all probably aware at this point, beating Margit's no easy feat. The guy's incredibly challenging using a regular controller, and controllers are designed to actually beat games with, you know? So beating them using a harp's pretty impressive. Just trying to understand how exactly they managed to register notes as button commands is making my head spin. In an interview with Kotaku, they explained everything they had to do to get this set up to work, and it's complicated to say the least. So they had to convert the audio from the harp into keystrokes, each one performing a specific action. It's really unintuitive, so the fact they're able to do it to beat even one boss, or, I don't know, walk from point A to point B, is impressive, and Anna intends to beat the entire game this way. And as of this video, they managed to get to Rennala, so it's definitely slow going, but with a controller like that,
that's crazy.
I get it, you know? I'm not like, oh man, you should
There's
be going
no way
faster.
she's gonna complete it.
I get it. And number 7, beating the entire game overloaded. Probably one of the more important mechanics of Elden Ring is the encumbrance system. Depending on how heavy the weapons and armor you're wearing are, it can affect dodge speed and stamina regeneration.
I feel like, look, she probably is able to defeat Margaret, but the entirety of the game, I don't think she's going to be able to beat it with a harp, because there are so many bosses where you're going to have to use a lot of fast movement, and I don't know if she could do that with a harp. Like, running fast, running away from shit, it's a lot. Yeah, Radon, shit like that, she's probably not going to beat. Because Radon, you got to be moving the whole time, and you got to really be, like, looking at him.
Etc. Worst of all is overloaded. When you got equipment that exceeds your maximum stamina, in that state, you can't run, you can't jump, you can't dodge. Whether that be wrenches or balls, neither is an option. So you'd think that the game is basically impossible to finish. Some people see the impossible and view it as a challenge, Iron Pineapple being one person. In this 35-minute video, they go through everything they had to do to play through the entire game overloaded. To make it so they were overloaded for literally the entire game, they modded in weapons to add weight to their character. And from there, they went through the entire game with the challenge to never jump, never run, and never dodge. Ever. They didn't even use the Spirit Stead unless it was required, just to make things harder. They did cheat a little bit, using the quick step skill occasionally and jumping so they could get the fingerprint stone shield, which is a little disappointing because that shield isn't necessary. It just kind of made the run a little easier. I'll say, when you're doing something as crazy as this, I kind of give Iron Pineapple a little slack, so I don't consider it that big of a deal. So there are a few things that could make someone pick this run apart, but it's still, in my opinion, a pretty amazing achievement and crazy. And number 6, climbed the giant rotted tree in the swamp of Aeonia. You know that gigantic rotted tree in Caelid?
You said you saw someone playing Dark Souls 3 with a DDR pad. Oh yeah, all the time I've seen like crazy shit like
It's so
that.
twisted and gnarled, it seems like it wouldn't be possible to climb. Yeah, most people see that and go, ha, well, you can't climb that. But if there's even a 1% chance that you can, then somebody out there is going to try. And people love Elden Ring. They love trying to do the impossible crap in Elden Ring. So this video posted by Firebear on Reddit shows them climbing all the way to the top of the tree. Like, there's obviously nothing to find up there, but the achievement alone is crazy enough. It takes
Wow,
pixel
he
perfect
made it?
precision to nail a lot of these jumps. And if you've played enough of this game, you know how awkward the jumping is when it's really requiring the accuracy. So the fact they managed to climb this thing is a minor miracle. I know there's nothing at the top, there's no achievement or anything, but I think that there should probably be some kind of like retroactive thing given to this guy because it's insane. And number 5 created the ultimate battle royale of animals. Now, people have used mods to get bosses to fight each other, and in truth, that mostly makes sense. They want to see some of the main bosses throw down with each other and see who
Oh, that
wins.
sounds cool.
Battle for the ages, right? That's expected. This is a little more unusual. Titled the ultimate battle royale of animals, Bjorn the Bear summoned 21 different field animals to fight each other. Now, there's understandable stuff here, like the giant land octopus, the malformed star, the basilisk, the Faramazula dragon, but there's some pretty crazy stuff like Muriel past her vows, aka the turtle pope in there. So it's a crazy concept that's actually pretty fun to watch. Probably the most amazing moment happens at the end of the second round, where 3 of the 4 final remaining monsters managed to kill themselves at the same time, leaving Muriel the only one standing. The turtle won by literally doing nothing.
How
And
the
before
turtle
fighting
won?
the boss is blindfolded. Like I've already mentioned,
He probably didn't even get into the fight. He's just sitting
This one's
there.
completely crazy. A speedrunner by the name of Starro Chris challenged themselves to beat every boss in the game while blindfolded. And considering how tough they are normally, it's pretty impressive. To make it more impressive, they somehow managed to beat these guys with no summons and no ranged attacks. It's basically like 0 crutches.
How is that even possible? He beat the game blindfolded. How do you even do this? Because the thing is like, you don't even know where the enemy's at. And even if you hear sound cues, you don't know where they are specifically, even if you hear the sound cues. You said pure RNG? I feel like this is cap. There's no way he beat all the bosses blindfolded.
And they have no choice but to get in close and fight them normally with a blindfold on. They pretty much work entirely on
But
sound
how do you
cues
know
and
if when
intuition,
they're in
and the
front?
results are amazing. Watching some of these videos, it's hard to tell they're actually even playing blindfold. It's kind of nuts. As this writing, Starro Chris hasn't beaten every boss, but they've gotten up to Horalao, and that's impressive. I have no doubt Starro Chris is gonna eventually pull it out. And number 3, somebody built a wandering mausoleum out of Lego bricks. So this is maybe less crazy done in-game and more just crazy in
doubt,
general.
bro.
But the work that Redditor Hobo Sapien put in this giant walking mausoleum is incredible. They get a shockingly accurate representation of, I guess, one of those
nice.
things. I don't know what else to call them. Creatures. It's about 5,000 to 6,000 pieces, weighs 30 pounds, and that's absolutely nuts for a Lego build. Many of the comments under this one have people asking the original poster to post a thing on Lego Ideas, which is a place where you can vote on fan-made projects to turn into actual Lego products. According to Reddit comment DJC6535, if you did that, it would be like a $500 to $600 set, which is nuts. So the actual piece count would have to be shaved down just a little bit to make it something fans could actually buy, but it's still an amazing achievement. And number
Who
2, somebody
cares
actually
if
beat
it's
this
that
game at level
expensive?
1 without taking any...
People still buy the like the Death Star and the Millennium Falcon, and them shits is very expensive. Who cares if it's gonna be that price? There's somebody out there that's going to buy it, and they're gonna build it, and they're gonna display that shit in a nice location.
damage. There's an entire movement of people out there trying to beat Elden Ring without getting hit or dying. One of the most famous, though, is Happy Hob, someone well known for playing the entire Dark Souls series without getting hit at all. They managed that feat in Elden Ring as well, and it's just as crazy as in any of those
And
games,
you already
if not
know,
more.
like,
Look
and
at-
you already know for a fact, even streamers are gonna buy it. Because, like, if I was to personally buy that shit, I would build that shit on stream. It's gonna take forever, but I feel like it would be a cool thing to watch someone build on stream.
This article from Kotaku highlighted one runner named Ainrun, who managed to do the impressive feat of beating the game at level 1 while taking no damage, also killing the first boss, the Grafted Scion. Like, a lot of speedruns opt to skip that fight because it's one that players are meant to lose, but it's technically possible to beat it. So the fact Ainrun managed a complete boss run instead of dying in that boss arena should be seen as more impressive depending on what no hit means to you. But like doing it at level 1 without taking any hits is just totally insane. And finally, beating the game in less than 5 minutes. Like, first off, beating the game skillfully is one thing, but beating it fast is another. This is a game with a standard playtime of around 100 hours, but with the right application of glitches, exploits, and pure skill, players have managed to finish it in under 5 minutes. And they keep
Wow.
bringing that number lower. The article we're referencing is from July 19th. In August, at the time of this video's recording, the lowest time we were able to find was a shocking 3 minutes and 56 seconds by Hypersomniac. It's only been about a month, and they managed to shave over a minute off of the 5-minute time, which the 5-minute time's totally nuts. Who knows how fast they're going to beat it in a few more months? I don't know. And a quick bonus, we can't mention crazy things Elden Ring players have done without bringing up this absolute hero. Let Me Solo Her was created by a player with a single goal, helping finish the toughest boss fights ever created by From Software, naked, with only a pot on their heads and 2 overpowered weapons. This is a player dedicated to helping people out. According to an article from Kotaku, they've killed Melania like thousands of times. They're so famous in the community that Elden Ring's publisher, Bandai Namco, has actually sent them a gift as a reward for their service.
What?
Including an actual sword. Let Me Solo Her is really just a legend
That
among
is
Souls
so
game
cool.
fans, both for their generous spirit and incredibly weird appearance. And there's a duelist out there you can summon at the big elevator. At the Academy entrance, is simply called the Lift Inspector. If you manage to summon them, they run over to the lift and get to work inspecting the chains of the spyglass, hammering out any imperfections, and then even employing a drill to really fix things up. Of course, they're not actually doing anything. It's just some random person role-playing the character of a lift mechanic. Most people want to be the heroes of legend, but not this guy. He just wants to be a humble lift inspector. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great.
True. Not everybody wants to be the hero, you know? Sometimes we just want to be the inspector. Sometimes we just want to be the inspector.